we now know that we're not doomed by our genetics, but it's the epigenetics. So in order to explain this a little bit, the truth of the matter is that as human beings, genetically, our DNA is 99% the same. So my DNA is 99% the same as your DNA. All right, so what is epigenetics? And the truth is that most of us think, and we've been taught, especially in the United States, via Western medicine, that we are doomed by our genetics. In other words, if my mom, and this is true, my mom had breast cancer. So since my mom had breast cancer, oh, well, that means that I'm probably going to have breast cancer as well. And so I'm going to live in fear. Or like Angelina Jolie, she had her breasts removed because she had the gene for one of the genes for breast cancer. So she just went ahead and had a double mastectomy. The truth of the matter is, it's not our genes. So our genetics is like the hardware to a computer. So does your hardware determine, what you can do on your computer? No, your software determines what happens on your computer. So genetics is like the hardware, and epigenetics is the software. Epigenetics is a fairly new science. It's super exciting because we now know that we're not doomed by our genetics, but it's the epigenetics. So in order to explain this a little bit, the truth of the matter is that as human beings, genetically, our DNA is 99% the same. So my DNA is 99% the same as your DNA. But how come we can look so different and have different diseases when 99% of our DNA is identical? There's only 1% difference. It's because it's not the DNA, it's not the genes. It's epi on top of the genes. The epigenetics allow or tell the genes to either turn on or turn off. So the truth of the matter is that you can turn genes on and you can turn genes off. How amazing! We can turn off breast cancer genes. We can turn off heart disease genes. We can turn off diabetic genes. So it's like what I've described in the past. So it's like a gun. All right, so the gun is the genes, or our DNA, or what our ancestors had, or what we're susceptible to. That's the gun. But the trigger that tells the gun whether or not it's going to be fired or not, whether or not that bullet's going to come out and hurt you, the trigger is epigenetics. What is epigenetics? What turns genes on and off? Our environment and our thoughts. Environment means toxins in our environment, toxins in our water, food that we put into our body. Are you eating McDonald's, or are you eating coconut oil and organic vegetables and grass-fed beef? Your environment is the choices that you make on a daily basis. And most of the choices that we make on a daily basis, we have control over. We might not have direct control over the air that we breathe, but we have control over the products that we put on our skin. We have control over the purity of the water that comes through our shower. Are we purifying that shower water with a carbon filter that costs like 50 or 60 bucks? Or are we just letting tap water come onto our bodies, not realizing that regular tap water is filled with chlorine and fluoride and all these things that actually affect our bodies, affect our thyroid. The thyroid is super susceptible to chlorine, and when we take a shower, especially a hot shower, it's creating chlorine vapor, and you're breathing in that vapor. Plus, our skin is the largest organ in our body, and our skin absorbs the materials that you put on it. So when you're showering in water with a bunch of chlorine, you're soaking in that chlorine, which is a thyroid inhibitor. So the makeup that you use, the products that you put in your hair, the lotion that you put on your skin, If you're looking at ingredients and it has a bunch of chemicals and you can't pronounce it, don't put it on your skin, don't put it on your face, don't put it in your hair, don't put it in your body. So epigenetics, that trigger, is our environment and our thoughts. It's the choices and the decisions that we make on a daily basis. It's educating yourself, watching documentaries like Forks Over Knives, Food Incorporated, um, What the Health, Magic Pill. Ask me for a list of different documentaries that I have watched and I think are powerful. I mean, get on Netflix. Everyone has access to these things now. So either you're taking responsibility for your health and you're taking control. And most of my people that are here, if you're on this call, if you're in my tribe, that's who I want to attract. I want to attract that person who understands that they have control over their health, that they're not a victim, that they're a victor. Are you a victim or are you a victor? If you're a victim and you're telling a story and you're buying into Western medicine, which is treating symptoms with drugs and surgery, then hopefully I didn't attract you into my tribe, because I want to work with people. I want to help people. I want to coach people. Our team wants to include and bring into our tribe people that want to make a difference on this planet. And people that want to make a difference on this planet are going to work on themselves first, get healthy first, start choosing healthier foods and healthier products. Because as I've said before, everything that you buy, every dollar that you spend is a vote. So are you voting for, I don't know, are you voting for, regular hamburger? Are you supporting and buying meat that's mistreating animals, that's feeding cows GMO corn and all this grain? Cows were meant to eat grass, not grain, not GMO grain, not filled with antibiotics. How are you voting? How are you spending your money? What are you doing to take care of yourself? So the reason that we do the 12-month coaching program is because it's my goal. I love to teach. That's my gift. That's my mission. I'm here on this planet to teach and to inspire others and motivate others to be their best. Do you want to be your best? So epigenetics is the trigger. It's our daily decisions, our thoughts, our actions, what we eat, what we breathe, how we think. And that's why we have Pura Vida, pure life, pure intentions, pure love, pure food, pure water, pure innocence. So we're all about pure living, not toxic living, not eating a bunch of dead processed food that turns on genes. So mice have a gene called the agouti gene. And the agouti gene is basically a gene that if it's turned on, the mice go from a darker coat, a brown color, to a blonde color, and now they're obese and they're more susceptible to cancer, diabetes, heart disease primarily. So they've done a study where they actually fed mice BPA, which is the main chemical found in plastic bottles. And that's why I don't advocate drinking out of plastic bottles unless absolutely necessary. And when they were given BPA, these genes that are normally brown and these mice that are normally brown and skinny and lean and healthy ended up, those moms that were fed the BPA had babies that were now blonde and heavy, obese, and more susceptible to these cancer genes. Sound familiar? So they've also done the same studies with humans, and it's proven that what a mom eats has a direct effect on whether the genes are turned on in her offspring. So are you pregnant? Do you have, or are you looking to get pregnant? What you eat, how you think, is going to determine your baby's genetic expression. And then they did the same study and they looked at that heavier mice with the blonde coat who had the gene expressed because of the chemicals, the toxins, which turn on genes. And they gave those mice methylators, which help to turn off genes like folic acid, which is found in vegetables, and other healthy nutrients, vitamin Bs. And they gave these heavier fat mice that were blonde, they gave them these methylated food, this nutrient food, And now, just by giving them those nutritious foods, they lost weight. And now their babies were born brown and lean. They were able to turn off those genes with just diet. I mean, it's powerful. That is so powerful. And we've only known this for like the last, let's see, 2020, maybe 10, 15 years. That's the how new the field of and the science of epigenetics is. It's only 10 or 15 years old. So I know this, I've been taught this, but I'm in the know. This is my life, this is my passion. So my goal is to teach you as much as I know so that you too can understand that just because your mom had breast cancer, like I'm not afraid of getting breast cancer because I know with my lifestyle and the clean eating and how I live my life, that my spiritual life, that the fact that I keep my vibration high, I stay in love and joy as much as possible. I eat clean. I'm a fat burner. I know unequivocally, based on science and research and studies, that my chance of expressing that breast cancer gene are very, very low. It's all about empowering yourself and educating yourself. So you're not doomed by your genes. It's all about epigenetics. You can control that trigger based on how you think. So a few references. Bruce Lipton wrote a book called The Biology of Belief, and he goes into detail. When you think certain thoughts, when you're happy, you secrete healing, positive hormones and chemicals that turn genes off and heal your body and increase human growth hormone and stem cell activity and allow you to be happier and express joy. It's proven that our thoughts create chemical cascades. When you're in fear, when you're thinking negative thoughts, when you're angry, when you're envious, not only is it lowering your vibration energetically, you're also producing damaging chemicals that turn genes on, that create cellular damage, DNA damage in your body. It's proven. So do you want to live life? Do you want to have high quality of life? Do you want to take responsibility for your life and be a victor? Or do you want to rely on Western medicine and not take responsibility? And if something goes wrong, go to the medical doctor and take a drug to treat the symptom? Or do you want to really find out what's going on and why your body is breaking down and what's creating the sign and symptom in the first place? So you either take control and empower yourself, or you tell a story and you play the victim.